Kyle? You are Kyle Sampson, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Who's there?
I've startled you. Forgive me.
Oh, I'm sorry, but you've got me at something of a disadvantage, Your Eminence. Have we met?
I'm Jack Malone.
It's a pleasure, sir.
Pleasure is mine. Believe me. But I'm sorry to interrupt you like this, but I'm on a very tight schedule. I'll only be in Springfield a few more hours, but I couldn't leave without seeing you first.
You couldn't leave Springfield without seeing me.
That's right.
Well, how did you find me?
Well, there was no miracle involved. I simply asked one of the guards. It's a beautiful view.
Yes, it is. I frequently come up here to think.
I imagine it must give you a great sense of security, of power. Knowing you own the tower beneath your feet and a good portion of what you can see.
Actually, no, just the opposite.
Oh?
Well, of course, I do have a feeling of security in a material sense, and I'm very grateful for that, but power, it seems, is something of a double-edged sword. It can make it difficult to accept that life is still so tenuous, so fragile, so unpredictable.
Yes.
And being so high, so removed from everything, it can make one feel very, very small.
Well, we all are very small in the face of heaven, it's true, but not in the eyes of God.
I used to believe that, but now I guess I'm not so sure.
Oh, don't despair. The Lord does work in mysterious ways, but he doesn't lose anyone. Every living thing has a place in his mind and in his love.
You haven't answered my question. Have we met?
No.
Is this about some charity?
I haven't come in that capacity.
Well, I'm afraid I don't understand. I'm not a member of your faith.
My reasons were personal.
Personal? What do you mean?
I'm a friend of your mother's.
All right, let's go.
He wants.
You're a friend of my mother's.
Yes. You find the idea amusing, Mr. Sampson?
Well, I meant no disrespect, I assure you. It's just that, well, it's difficult to imagine my mother being very religious.
The workings of a soul can be a very private matter.
Well, yes, my mother is good at keeping secrets, so I suppose I shouldn't be surprised that she's gotten one more.
Some of those surprises may be happy ones.
That would be a first.
Keep in mind, Mr. Sampson, emotions often cloud judgment. We're not always able to see a parent as clearly as others do.
Sometimes we're able to see them quite a bit more clearly, though.
Your mother is a good woman. Very caring.
Oh, I see. You bought that act, did you?
It's not an act.
Oh, yes, it is. You see, I know her very well, and she's been trying for a long time to establish this image of herself as a pillar of society. Well, I happen to know that her business dealings, for example, weren't always quite so upstanding.
This world can be a very hard place. When one has to struggle to survive, mistakes are made.
Yeah, well, my mother's made more than her share.
Oh, it's easy to cast stones. But not one of us is free of sin. I know.
Did she send you here? Are you here to plead her cause?
She has no idea I'm here.
Then why are you here?
I first met your mother in Tulsa, over 35 years ago.
Well, if you met her that long ago, then I don't have to fill you in on her past.
35 years. You're about that age now, aren't you? 35?
Well, yes, I am, as a matter of fact. What are you trying to say?
You'll have to forgive me for not being more direct, but what I have to tell you is very difficult.
No, wait a minute. You can't really expect me to believe
Hear me out, Kyle.
No. Look, I'm sure that you mean well, but you really ought to think twice before backing any of Miss Sally's lies, however good your intentions are.
I'm here to end the lies, that's all.
No, I don't want...
Your mother had every good intention. She was only trying to protect the men she loved,
No,
you and me. It's time to set the record straight.
No!
For all our sakes.
I don't want to hear anymore.
You can run, Kyle, but you can't hide. Not from the truth.
The truth?
Yes.
No, I can't.
It is.
No. No, I don't want to hear.
You have to hear, Kyle, and I have to say it. You are my son.
How is such a thing possible?
It happened in a very normal way. Your mother was charming and attractive. And I thought I was in love.
You thought you were in love with her? But my mother was a... Well, you must have known.
I did. But I also knew what she was really like in her heart, how caring, how good. I thought I could take her away. We could start over.
How could you plan to take her away? You're a priest.
No, I wasn't a priest. Not then. I had it in my mind to be one, but I hadn't made any final decision.
I mean, when you met my mother, you might have chosen a different path?
Yes. Yes, sharing my life with her, raising a family, seemed to me to be a real and wonderful possibility. It would have been, too, except...
Except what? What happened? What went wrong?
Sally knew me better than I knew myself. She recognized my true vocation and convinced me of it.
Why did you let her?
What do you mean?
Well, you had a responsibility that was just as valid as any vocation. The woman was carrying your child.
She was, but I never knew.
What?
On the morning I was to leave for the seminary, Sally came to see me. She was pregnant then.
What? You mean she hadn't told you? She didn't try to stop you?
No, just the opposite, in fact. I was about to take the most important step of my life that day. I was scared, filled with doubts, second thoughts. If your mother had wanted, she could have fed those doubts very easily. But she knew it would be wrong for me. So instead, she helped me to see the truth about myself, that my life would best be spent serving God and His church. I now know that was one of the most selfless acts I've ever witnessed. She sacrificed herself for the man she loved.
Selfless? What about me? Didn't she realize what she was doing to her son?
Reva,